Hi and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you some quick tips that you can use to turn your photos into great holiday cards. So come along and enjoy this adventure. Well, today I'm going to show you how I edit my photos for Christmas cards. And what I want to do is make this Carolina wren my Christmas card. And what has brought me to this picture is these red and green colors. So the red of the berries, the green of the leaves. And I want to make that into a Christmas card. So the first thing I do whenever I do any editing is I go to the Develop module. And the first thing I do to all my pictures, and I usually do this at import, is I apply lens correction. This will fix some of the issues that are caused by lenses. So there's a little bit of a difference. You see it got a little bit lighter. Your lens results may be a little bit different than that. So the first thing I do is crop. So for the company that's making my Christmas cards, they want 8 by 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a portrait picture, and I'm just going to simply shrink this down. What I'm trying to do is get the Carolina wren in the center, but I want to leave some room, some space for the tail, and I want this space to be opened up here. I'm going to add writing to this later, but this is just to edit the picture. So I am just going to basically right about there. At this point I hit the enter key and it crops the image. Now this image has got a few problems. It's a little bit dark, so I'm going to bring that down now to 2618. So that's going to darken that up a little bit. I'm going to bring the contrast down a little bit. Well, there. The highlights, I'm going to bring those up a little bit. The shadows, I'm going to bring up just a little bit. I want this bird to be a little bit darker. Now, one thing about bringing up shadows is I have to watch these shadows, but I'm going to fill these places in later, so I'm not that worried about it. By hitting the Alt key, I can bring up the white balance a little bit, but I got to be careful. I don't want that white chin to be overexposed. I think that's about enough. Yeah, see how the chin still has some definition in it, so we want to keep that. I definitely want to bring up the blacks up a little bit, just to darken up the colors in the feathers. And at any point, if you're curious if you've gone too much, you always can hit this Y button, and it will show you a before and after. And we can zoom in, and you can see that the bird is a little bit darker, a little bit more detail, but we are going to fix it even more than that. One thing I don't like about this bird is there's not a lot of detail in it. So the first thing I do is bring up a vibrance, just a little bit of vibrance, not a lot. You can get really in trouble with vibrance. I don't think I need to fix the curve very much here. One thing that I do think we have a problem with is that it's a little bit mushy or not very sharp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a mask to the picture, and basically this is how much of a change we're going to make. So I'm applying it a little over 50%. I want to add a little bit of sharpness to it. Radius, just a little bit, enough to say that you did it. Detail. Now these two buttons, you can get yourself in trouble with them. But the great thing about Lightroom is at any time you can go back and take a look at it. And you can see how the bird is a lot more sharper, crisp, a little bit more detail, and he's not as washed out as the before one. So I'm very, very happy with that. So what I'm going to do is do this. Now I want to add berries here. So I have pictures here that have more berries in it. So if I look at this picture, you can definitely see I have a lot more berries in that one. And this one has even more berries. So what I want to do is before I move these into Photoshop, I want to add the edits that I made to this one to the other two. So the first thing I do is I select all of them, and then I go back to library mode and sync settings. You click that at the bottom down here. Now I don't want to apply all these settings, so I want to apply lens correction. I don't want to apply crop, no spot removal, colors, gradients, noise reduction effects we want to apply. These are the only effects that we want to do. clarity, texture, tone. We all edited that. Leahy, sharpening, basic tones that we did, white balance. These things here, we want to apply this, but we do not want to apply the crop because we want to be able to move the picture around to get what we want. We click sync, and it takes a second for it to sync to everything there. So if we look here, the same edits have been made. We've got a few seconds here, and they have been applied. Now the thing we have to do with them all selected here, we're going to right click on the pictures. We're going to go to edit and edit in Adobe Photoshop 2001. Now, so I want to add these berries to this picture here. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use my grab tool right here. I'm going to grab this picture, come up to here to there, bring it down here, and I haven't released the mouse at all now. When I release the mouse on top of the paper, it shows, or on top of that picture, it shows this. And because I didn't crop it, I can move the image to where I want the berries. So I want the berries to be up here and around here, around the Carolina wren. So that looks about right there. Now I am going to have a little bit of a problem with this big white branch coming through here. I got to remember not to get in there. So what I need to do is apply a mask to this picture here. And to do that, I hold down the Alt key and I press this little icon down here, and it applies a mask to it. Now if you notice, the mask is black and we don't see any of the berries underneath it. So down here I have my mask selected to white, and I select my paintbrush. And I want it a little bit bigger than that, so I hit the bracket key, the right bracket key to enlarge it, and I simply start painting in the image I want. And what that does is allows me to bring in those berries. Now if you notice, I just went over the tail a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. So I want to bring in some of these berries here. And I've gone over the head a little bit, but you see I've added in a lot more berries. So, and it's kind of what I wanted to do. Now to undo this, what I do is come down here, I select this thing so that it's black now, and that means I'm going to erase it. Using the left bracket key, I can shrink my icon down, and I'm just going to bring back some of that stuff. Now this leaf here is part of the original picture with the Carolina wren. And I'm just going to go up here, highlight this, and I'm going to do this here. Actually, this has come out a lot better than I thought it would. So as you can see here, I can have this here. Now, if you notice, there's a little bit of black right there. I hit this back here, and that is from the original photo. I am going to bring up those berries behind it. So I've added in a lot more berries. Actually, that looks really good. I actually want to kind of fill in this a little bit here, you see? So that I want to get rid of that little leaf. That little leaf was bothering me. So if you look at this, it looks pretty good. And using this technique will really help you add anything that you want to a picture and look at really natural. Now, because we made the edits and they're all the same, we don't have to edit the background picture. We just have to keep this picture here. Now, one thing I'm a little concerned about is I got a little bit of stuff in here that I don't want. Now, this leaf here is part of the original photo, and it was very important for me to have that in there. And as you can see, this is a really easy edit that you can do, and it applies to your pictures. Now, what you would do at this point here is you would hit save as, or save a copy, and then you would save to this computer, and then you would export it in whatever file format the company that's going to make your Christmas cards in there, we'll say JPEG, and now I can export these somewheres and have Christmas cards there made by this. This is a quick thing. Literally, it took me a few minutes to do this. Yeah, I just want to get a little bit out of here because I want this stick to be consistent. Now you notice that there's a little bit of problem right there with the stem. You could spend a lot of time just making sure that it looks really, really clean. But with these skills, you can do this, and you can spend a lot of time editing this photo. But I like the idea of making the basic edits in Lightroom and then moving into Photoshop to make these detail moves. So this is really easy. It literally took me a few minutes to do it. I mean, I'll definitely work on this picture some more to get the so that everything looks like it belongs there. But that would require me just doing some detail work. Overall, I'm very happy with this picture. I'm 90% there, so I'm really happy with it. There's the one leg's missing off the bird, but I'll fix that later. I'm hoping that you got something out of this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel because that helps us in the YouTube world. Become a Patreon supporter. Your support allows us to keep doing this. My name is Leahy, and I want to thank you for watching.